Hello and welcome to Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program. I'm Dorji and here are our top stories from the week. Release of cash prizes for the 3 Prime Minister's Award of the National Film Awards 2018 withheld. Emotional abuse challenging to deal with. And Bhutan receives the Earth Award for Sustainable Tourism Pursuit and Commitment in Germany. Now the details. The budget for the Prime Minister's Award of the 17th National Film Awards 2018 will not be released, at least for now. Prime Minister Dasho Tobgay said the Finance Ministry will wait until the Anti-Corruption Commission completes its investigation regarding the award during the last edition of the National Film Awards.
At the Meet the Press today, Dasho Tobgay said the ACC is yet to complete its investigation of allegations against the Bhutan Film Association regarding the awarding of Prime Minister's Award last year. The investigation established that the procedures for the selection of 3 best films for the award were flawed and lacked transparency, creating controversies. Therefore, for this time, the ACC recommended the Prime Minister's Award to be kept in abeyance.
As long as the Anti-Corruption Commission is continuing the investigation, we will have nothing to do with it. So the award is in abeyance. And this is what we conveyed to the Film Association of Bhutan. They seem to have announced it. That's their business. As far as we are concerned, unless the Anti-Corruption Commission clears it, we will not be in a position to issue the award.
As part of the Prime Minister's Award, 1 million Nguyen each is awarded to the top 3 best films. The money, Dasho Tobgay said, is a token of support to the film producers.
So the idea was, what if you select the top 3 and you give them 1 year to show it around the country and you pay them something good, you award them a good amount of money. So that 10 lakhs is actually not just prize money. It is payment to release the thing on DVD. When they win the PM's award, it's easier for them to win international competitions. Why 10 lakhs? Is because actually it is to purchase the rights of the film to be made into a DVD.
At the 18th National Film Awards this year, Nita Lama, Hingtam Banze and Darinaba were declared as the winners of the Prime Minister's Award. With additional information from Tshering, this is Tshering for BBS News.
Despite robust policy and acts in place, women still are victims of violence and discrimination. Of all forms, it is emotional abuse. Many women fell victim last year, going by the records with Renew. The figure stood at 165.
In 2017, 395 approached Renew seeking help. Most were victims to emotional and economic abuses. Emotional abuse is a form of abuse where a person subjects or exposes another person to behavior that may result in psychological trauma, including anxiety, chronic depression, and stress. Dr. Meenakshi from Renew's Community Outreach Department explained physical, sexual, and economic abuses are not always the determining factors for a person to undergo an emotional abuse. She added, unlike other forms, emotional abuse is a challenge to identify, prevent, or address.
But in the case of emotional violence, it was so difficult to prove because then there is no bruises, nothing, and you cannot have a report pay. But I think now, because of the awareness that's been created around, we have now increasingly people coming to share, as simple as the problems like extramarital affair. They have this problem with when they are not, when they are not happy at home, they come and share their problems with us. So from that we come to know that there's this emotional violence.
아니 생감기 대가 이들라 마치 남이 생 마치르기 다 ngara zum chibe mi ranjang zum chibe shudi berela mi sam phalu jab chu phigo dina mi no me su shunila.
Physical and sexual violence are easy to identify and forward to court as it is evident from physical injuries. But when it comes to emotional abuse, we cannot help even if we want to, as we have to forward the case to court based on evidence. So it is very challenging for us to help when victims of emotional abuse come to us.
Cases to sunga chin na lom da de na mi sam jab chu phisual na sa lakha jab me su shunila.
While it is challenging to identify or tackle emotional abuse cases, Renew feels people have started to become aware of such an issue. This is the reason the organization attributes to the increasing number of cases reported. Renew attends to cases of emotional abuse by giving counseling and creating awareness.
We try to talk to the client, we try to tell them, like, make their own decision, you know, like, Zanebe, we try to take out dig, and what we do at the end is, of course, we ask her, and we try to call the husband, you know, or call anybody at home, like, with whom she feels like she can talk, she wants us to talk to. So we try to do a family counseling. We do individual counseling, we have family counseling, we have, like, couple counseling. So we have different types of counseling.
However, a few feel there are many unreported cases because generally Bhutanese women are resilient towards emotional abuse.
We women, we Bhutanese are so resilient. We try to take everything into it and we try to live with it. We try to tolerate whatever happens, whatever bad things happen to us. We try to live it with it. We don't address it.
Meanwhile, to strengthen awareness on emotional abuse and reach out to communities, Renew is carrying out a workshop in collaboration with NCWC, RBP and volunteers. Tobgay for BBS News.
Bhutan wins the World's Sustainable Destinations Earth Award in Berlin, Germany. This is Bhutan's first win at the ITB Berlin, the world's leading travel trade show.
The award is in recognition of Bhutan's commitment towards responsible tourism and country's approach to tourism development and management. Bhutan was top 3 finalists along with Spain and Iceland under the Earth Award category. Over 250 destinations submitted their nominations for the award. From Bhutan, 28 tour agencies and officials from Tourism Council of Bhutan took part in the event.
This award is a testimony of wise and visionary leadership of our kings, and also our government's commitment and efforts to protecting and conserving our environment, and of course our own industry's efforts towards sustainable tourism. So it's a true recognition of what we do in Bhutan, and we are very happy with this. We can do a lot of things with this award, so we are very happy with it.
A jury representing 12 leading sustainable tourism organizations and networks selected Bhutan. Green Destinations, an agency recognizing destinations around the world for championing sustainability in terms of nature and culture, organized the event. This is Sonam Chodan for BBS News.
Back at home, farmers of Sertigyog of Samrup Jonkar could be looking at a failed investment when it comes to mass cultivation of cardamom. The plants have started to wilt even before they could lay hands on the first harvest. The scenario looks bleak for Nechen, who, along with his villagers, started mass cultivation of cardamom in 2015. He planted its seedlings in about an acre of land after spending around 10,000 yutam. But today, when it is about time to secure his investment, a disappointing orchard is what greets him.
All the cardamom plants have died. I don't know why. Unlike past years, this time it's like hot water is being poured on the leaves. It turns white and slowly the plant dies.
The tragedy has taken its toll on other cardamom plants in the Geok as well. Normally for the crop, the yield starts from third year onwards after planting.
In the past, some villagers used to sell cardamom and make money. But this time, we could not sell any. After all the hard work put in, the plants are now dying. It is disappointing.
The Dzongkhag agriculture officials do not know the cause as yet. They suspect the cardamom seedlings were either of poor quality or already infected, since farmers bring the seedlings from wherever convenient. This leaves the farmers giving up the hope for a good yield this season. For the next, they can only pray their cardamom plants to survive so long. For Kilewanchu in Samrup Dzongkha, Sharif Dorji, BBS News. Now in Shemgang, concentrated grazing by Mithun, a large domestic bovine, has become a cause of concern for the people of Tronggyeok. A recent study has found such grazing poses threat to 3 major water sources in the area.
The regional breeding center in Shemgang is home to around 125 Mithun. The animals live on pastures of more than 1,600 acres. But their grazing has become a cause of concern for locals. The issue was discussed at the recent Dzongkhak Tsokdu. According to a study by the Department of Forest and Park Services, concentrated grazing by the animals could lead to drying of 3 major water sources in Tronggyeok.
If you don't protect the Tshering water source now, you will face serious problems in the future because we don't have other water sources here in Tong. If we want the water source to remain in the future as well, we need to relocate the center to some other place.
While relocating the center was proposed as a solution, some members also shared issues associated with the move.
Right now we cannot decide on relocating the center. There are a lot of agencies we need to talk to, and only after that we can make a decision. But right now, for us, it has become important to take some measures, or we could face big problems in the future.
Who is going to bear the cost to relocate the center and construct new structures? We have to ascertain this. Is it going to be the Gyok who will do the relocation? We have to decide this.
The Dzongkhak Tsokdu decided to discuss on issues of cost and identification of new location in the next session before writing to the Agriculture Ministry. For Pema Samdrup in Shemgang, Yishe Gelson, BBS News.
The Monitoring and Evaluation Committee of Bumthang's Dzongkhak Tsokdu will soon inspect the vegetable market in Chamka town. This is following complaints over supposedly overpriced vegetables in the market.
Members shared that the cost of the vegetables during winter is exceptionally high compared to other districts. There was also debate among the members whether the Dzongkhak Tsokdu should involve in the matter or not and regulate the cost of the vegetables. The meeting resolved to send a team for inspection at the vegetable market. Currently, a kilogram of cauliflower costs about 150 Newton and a kilogram of beans is sold at 200 Newton. Likewise, it costs about 15 Newton for a kilogram of potato. There are more than 20 vendors who sell local vegetables brought in from warmer districts of the country and about 8 vendors dealing imported vegetables. For Kipchu in Bumthang, Pema Tshering, BBS News.
The Office of the Consumer Protection has asked Shakya Bhutan Tours to refund part of its tours package costs to a group of clients. In January, the clients launched a complaint against the tour operator operating in the name of the company for poor services provided during a pilgrimage to India.
The operator, during a mediation meeting on 15 February, agreed to refund the travel charge to Lumbini and the difference in package cost to its customers. The tour was first advertised for 18,000 Newton, but later it was brought down to 15,000 Newton to fill in the empty seats. Of the 54 pilgrims during the tour, half of them complained that the tour was not organized as agreed. They were not taken to Lumbini as reflected in the tour's advertisement. The operator also failed to provide proper guide services and used foul language with the pilgrims. The Regional Trade and Industry Office in Tshering, where the complaint was first lodged, had forwarded the matter to the Office of the Consumer Protection. Shakya Bhutan Tours has also been charged of fronting. It surfaced while investigating the pilgrims' complaints.
The tour organizer did not have the license. They used the license of Bhutan, Sakya Bhutan Tours. So I think Bhutan Consumer Protection has said that since they did not have the license, it's a fronting case, so they will take the penalty as per the rules of the, there's a rule, 995 rule, so according to that, they will take the case. The second one is the tour organizer did not have the business license, but they are using the fronting license, so she will be levying penalties for operating business without license.
The Office of the Consumer Protection will forward the fronting issue to the Regional Trade and Industry Office in Thimphu for further course of action. Meanwhile, the tour organizers said during the pilgrimage there were brawls and finger-pointing on certain issues regarding the services. However, she added, for most times, the best of services were provided to the pilgrims. This is Tshering for BBS News.
For the upcoming elections, as long as people are found registered in their electoral roll, the validity of citizenship identity cards has no bearing. The Home and Cultural Affairs Minister mentioned this during the Meet the Press session recently.
Minister Dao Gelson explained the Department of Civil Registration and Census provides the data for electoral roll and accordingly the voter cards are issued. When the card expires, the citizenship status does not. Therefore, the question of depriving public of other benefits needs to be questioned further. The minister added, people who are yet to receive their renewed citizenship identity cards can use the old CID for the upcoming elections if need be.
Tangachi election ki thihib dadi that ngachi ki ngoto lakhe di khongta chikara shai sabdi pha mati chusik nipti milen tan be udalo ngachi na ngachi ki chaktulen chuda chika tundu be di de ngachi ki ID card di tene yobachin de nip in sab in daregi di tene yobachin disulu enji menchi ko kapchung go.
The issue came into limelight after thousands of people in Jamgang complained of waiting for more than 2 years since they processed their CID cards. The Home Ministry justified that the renewal program for the cards started only towards end of December 2016 and was completed by mid of 2017. The minister said only few cases of new CIDs were processed in 2015 but could not be delivered due to mismatch of information provided by the clients and Civil Registration and Census database. Subsequent failure of the client to follow up was another factor. Meanwhile, the Department of Civil Registration and Census has been directed to monitor and follow up with all 20 zonkhaks and take up appropriate measures if such cases prevail. For Pembasalan Tshering, Sonmongdi, BBS News.
Gelefu, Dekiling and Samtiling Geok in Sarbang appealed to the recent Zongkhok Sokdu for human settlement plan in their areas. They said with increasing number of people and constructions, having a proper plan would avoid problems in the future.
These 3 geoks are located near the urban area. An increasing number of new settlements in these areas is inevitable. Local leaders now want the Ministry of Works and Human Settlement to initiate human settlement plan in their geoks.
대안에 렘레텐디 티 슈말레 미실 로강길 마데니 기델레베 땡아치기 중루 때나와치슈 차지기라디수 레심베 십주베자니 데레 마치기 니주피 스시니벨라
동람디 충구질리게 메블레텐디게 슐레 자켓다 모바진다 또마치 동세피 침리수 잡다 나와디 가지기 중람레 핏납주베샤도 아닌디가 아니 림다디 공이 침디 잡도와라 슐레가 된 집에 중람디 자게 야소바진 안 침디수 맵주니 메발라 공리.
The House was informed that such a plan is there in the next 5-year plan.
아니 차지디 마두튼스기 바나로 디나로데 김다 디수가냐 잡 마초기 아니 지데 제고 어세 데비슈네라 아니 마제바친디 다로 쪼라치비 아뇨라 같이 보친디 sabko chakchil ke charji zodalu da gachilo chachigu di chalro misas junil aniala da yan lochi go yan logi de chi go ay mishila anilola.
The Sarbungzong Sogdo decided to write to the Ministry of Works and Human Settlement about the issue. For Karmongde in Sarbung, the Chongmo, BBS News.
Now in Tonsa, to ease parking space crisis, the municipality is planning to construct 2 multi-storied car parks. The proposal to construct the structures has been submitted for the coming financial year of the 12th five-year plan.
This is a common scene in Tongsa town. Motorists wait patiently for their turn. Vehicles move from both directions, and at the same time, cars are also parked in the same area, leading to traffic jams. Due to limited parking space, the highway in Tongsa town is congested at most times. Traffic congestion and problems in finding proper parking is becoming a growing issue.
Due to development and change in time, people have 2 to 3 cars. So when they park in front of their homes, it is restricting people visiting the town from across the country to stay and shop here. And this is affecting the business community at large.
Private parking bombe mi te job bombe mi bi gale te dashin jongkha nalu.
Due to lack of enough parking areas in the town, even the private cars are parked in the taxi parking area. It does not happen anywhere in the country, so sometimes there are disagreements. There are about 50 taxis, but taxi parking accommodates only 18 cars.
To solve this, the municipal office has proposed to construct 2 multi-storied car parks in Tongsa town.
We will be constructing that major one just opposite to the vegetable market sheet below the road. And that will be carried out under the flagship program if the proposal gets through. And we have proposed a budget of near term 50 million for that under the small development project.
Another parking structure with proposed budget of about 5 million Yetum will be constructed in this area. The buildings will accommodate about 60 light vehicles. For Pasa in Tonsa, Samton Dolker, BBS News.
And finally in sports, a 22-year-old Japanese won this year's Bhutan International Marathon in Punakha. He broke last year's record of 2 hours 41 minutes set by Sangewanchu. The 4-time winner, Sangewanchu, was not in the race due to his other obligations.
Yushiyuki Hara from Hokkaido in Japan completed the 42.2 km full marathon in 2 hours 27 minutes. He is the last year's winner in the half marathon category.
This year, I competed in the long race. Initially, I thought it would be difficult for me, but now after the win, it feels great. Since I planned to compete in full marathon, I prepared according to it. I have been taking part in marathons since my childhood, and even in future, I will continue to take part in such events.
In the women's category, 30-year-old Sarah Stone from England grabbed the title. She is a professional athlete and runs for charity.
It wasn't in my mind. I just wanted to come and have a nice race. I feel very happy, very, very pleased. It was a beautiful course. It's a Sprenton Bridge. It was incredible. And no, it was great. I had a great run. But this is actually a marathon. This year I'm running 12 marathons for charity. So this is my 3rd marathon this year. I have a banner. So this is Race for Rights. So it's raising money for refugees in Myanmar. As I said, this is my 3rd marathon in 6 weeks. So I keep running. But I've not been up this high and in the mountains. It's the first time.
Purpa from Royal Bhutan Army secured the first position in 21.1 km half marathon, and Jocelyn Bradley from Australia won in the women's category.
I
was a bit worried about my performance in the morning, as it was my first competition. My main motive is participation rather than winning or losing.
Now with the win, it encouraged me to take part in more of such competitions. I will train more and hope to do better in future.
Training at the
419 participants from across the world took part in the marathon this time. Bhutan Olympic Committee conducts the marathon every year. For Komal Kharka in Punakha, Samtin Dolkar, PBS News.
And that is it for this week. I am Dorji. Thank you all for watching.